Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I got Miss Avalon here, and we're supposed to have a big storm tonight, and then tomorrow's Connie's appointment to be rescoped and checked for ulcers. And I just got done lunging this one, making her listen because she wasn't listening at all. But I've never done Tarp desensitization with her, so I think I'm going to get the Tarp and let's desensitize her. And I'll leave it running so you guys can see her first reaction to when I bring the Tarp in. I always like to do that. Okay, so I left this clip in so you guys could see how she reacts when I come in with it. That's kind of what I like to do with any of my desensitizing videos if you guys have seen them. And I have the lead rope thrown over her, so I'm just going to grab the lead rope, and the first thing I'm going to ask her to do here in a second is follow the Tarp and see it and hear that it makes noise. And I was actually surprised she led pretty okay with this because normally she leads horrible. I've been tying her to the patient's post, and I think that's part of the reason her leading is getting better is because she's been pulling on herself and having to figure out how to get out of it. She still stops, but nothing like she did last week. So the next thing I did was some advance and retreat, but when I take it away, I kind of make it snap a little bit and make it known that it's there and that it makes noise. I don't want to tiptoe around it. So I kind of want to jerk it back almost so that it makes some noise. She can see it moves, and it's not like a shock when I touch her that it moves and that it makes noise. So after that, I will kind of toss it against the side of her body, let her hear that it makes noise, see that it makes noise, feel it up against her. Obviously what you do on one side you do on the other. To start back off with advance and retreat. There's a few moments here that I have to correct her. So wherever there's a cut, if you guys see her moved, it's because there's like 3 deer playing on the hill, and she was way more interested at some points in paying attention to them rather than me, and that can be fairly dangerous. If you're working on desensitizing a horse to a new object and they're focused on something else, when they kind of do realize what's going on, they can spook and kick, jump on top of you. So I just moved her to where she was paying attention to me each time. Like right there, I kind of bumped her nose and would just move her where I needed her. So here I'm starting to kind of flap it over and letting the wind kind of push it up a little bit. Same thing here. Setting it on her back, letting it sit there and slide off. So here I'm just kind of rubbing her face with it. You can see my lead line's loose. Not like forcing her to be okay with this at all. I'm giving her the option to leave if she wants. So I honestly thought she was gonna kick out at this and be very, very spooky at this because she does not like my flags. She does fine with the plastic bag. She obviously does fine with this. She does fine with being hosed off, but she's also afraid of fly spray. So it's kind of interesting to see the things that she's afraid of compared to the other things that she like doesn't give a crap about. You can see here her leg's cocked, and I'm rubbing on her. So something I'll do is, you'll see I rub the whole body there, but then when I go back to her butt, I kind of use the Tarp to do it. I like to do that the first few times just to make sure, like, if they kick, I'm out of the kick zone. They're just going to kick that Tarp. They're not going to nail me. So here I'm throwing it over, which I honestly thought she would freak out about because the first time I threw a whip over her back and it touched both sides at once, she about jumped out of her skin and about had a heart attack. So the fact that she's doing good with this is just confusing to me. I mean, I'm happy she's not blowing up. I'm very grateful. It's just weird when you see how spooky they are, and then you pull out a Tarp for the very first time and they're just like going to sleep. Like, it's just weird. So here I'm just asking her to take a few steps. Now this hesitation could be because she's unsure, but I think it's just because, I mean, her leading's horrible. So I honestly think it's just that. So I did find a little uh-oh spot here. I was tapping on it, made some noise, but she also doesn't like to be tapped at all. Kamani I can pat on as a reward. Avalon's kind of like, I don't like this. She doesn't like tapping in general, so that could have been, again, could have been because of the Tarp and the noise up by her ear, and it could have just been the simple, she does not like to be tapped. it up a little bit. Now, she gets a little bit high-headed here, but she responds way better than Kamani did the first time. If you guys haven't seen that video, Kamani spun so fast she fell over, so glad that did not happen this time. Trying to keep her nose bent to me while still giving her a little bit of rope in case things go south. You can see she's tossing her head. So I pull it off, I throw it back up there, make some noise. You can see she just raises her head a little bit, but she don't really give a crap. And then I put it back up there and do that again. Let it sit there for a minute. And pull it off. And that was a much better reaction. So here I'm asking her to go over it. I did do this both ways, but I did cut that out so you guys don't have to see that twice. We walked, trotted, and cantered. So this side she's way stiffer on. This is our one side that we have major issues on lunging on the line. Slowly working on it. Takes time. So here, she canters over it. Nice stop there. So here I'm just asking her to move with it for the first time, besides a couple steps she did. And then I'm going to take the whip and just tap it and see how she handles that. And she gets a little confused and stops, but I actually like that reaction because of right here. Because she stopped earlier, she's like, I don't really care, and she just steps on it. Clearly she doesn't care about the tarp. I did not expect that, considering the first day I picked her up, we brought out a lunge whip trying to get her on the trailer and a flag, and she flew backwards, rearing up, and dragged us down the road, and we were on the side of a highway. 2 weeks ago, we actually had a big tarp in our pasture, and I don't remember if I posted about it on YouTube or Instagram, but I know I did on one of them. And it's been there for a few years, and my guess is what happened, because I wasn't outside when it happened, my guess is what happened was she played with it, because she's a very curious, playful horse. My guess is she played with it and got caught up because it had some holes in it. And when I came out, she was right outside by the street, outside of the pasture, but the gate was shut, and so I was like, well, that's weird. And she had went down at the end of the pasture, where that little black house is in our pasture, and went through the fence, and the tarp was wrapped up in the fence. She actually has scarring all over her legs and her chest from it. So I honestly expected, because of what had happened, she'd be afraid of it. I mean, she didn't really care for it by her face, but neither does Kamani. She did better than Kamani did when it's on her head. And Kamani's had more training, so that's crazy. So anyways, I'm going to end the session with, I'm going to take her over and I'm going to tie her up. I'm going to put the stuff up in here. And that's going to be our session for the night. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you in our next video. Peace out.